Hamlet, Act 2, Scene 2. Trumpets play. Claudius and Gertrude enter with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern and attendants. Claudius. Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. I've wanted to see you for a long time now, but I sent for you so hastily because I need your help right away. You've probably heard about the change that's come over Hamlet. That's the only word for it. Since inside and out, he's different from what he was before. I can't imagine what's made him so like himself other than his father's death. Since you both grew up with him and are so familiar with his personality and behavior, I'm asking you to stay a while at court and spend time with him. See if you can get Hamlet to have some fun and find out if there's anything in particular that's bothering him, so we can set about trying to fix it. Gentlemen, Hamlet's talked a lot about you two, and I know there are no two men alive he's fonder of. If you'll be so good as to spend some time with us and help us out, you'll be thanked on a royal scale. Both you and the king might have ordered us to execute your command instead of asking us politely, but we'll obey. Our services are entirely at your command. Thanks, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Thanks, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. I beg you to pay a visit right away to my son, who's changed too much. Servants, take these gentlemen to see Hamlet. I hope to God we can make him happy and do him some good. Amen to that. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern exit, escorted by attendants, and Polonius now enters. The ambassadors are back from Norway, sir. Once again, you bring good news. Do I, sir? Do I, sir? I assure your majesty, I'm only doing my duty, both to God and my good king. And I believe unless this brain of mine is not so politically cunning as it used to be, that I found out why Hamlet's gone crazy. Tell me. I want very much to find out. All right. First, let the ambassadors speak. Then you can hear my news as dessert. Then be so kind to show them in. Polonius leaves. Gertrude, he says he's found out the reason for your son's insanity. I doubt it's anything but the obvious reason, his father dying and our quick marriage. Polonius enters with the ambassadors, Voltimand and Cornelius. Claudius, well, we'll get to the bottom of it. Welcome, my good friends. Tell me, Voltimand, what's the news from the King of Norway? Greetings to you too, your highness. As soon as we raised the matter, the king sent out messengers to stop his nephew's war preparations, which he originally thought were directed against Poland, but learned on closer examination were directed against you. He was very upset that Fortinbras had taken advantage of his being old and sick to deceive him, and he ordered Fortinbras' arrest. Fortinbras swore to never threaten Denmark again. The old king was so overjoyed by his promise that he gave young Fortinbras an annual income of 3,000 crowns and permission to lead his soldiers into Poland, asking you officially in this letter to allow his troops to pass through your kingdom on their way to Poland. He's assuring you of your safety. He gives Claudius the document. I like this news, and when I have time, I'll read this and think about how to reply. Meanwhile, thank you for your efforts. Go relax now. Tonight we'll have some dinner. Welcome back. Voltimand and Cornelius exit. And Polonius. Well, that turned out well in the end, sir and madam, to make grand speeches about what majesty is, what service is, and why day is day, night is night, and time is time, is just a waste of a lot of day, night, and time. Therefore, since the essence of wisdom is not talking too much, I'll get right to the point here. Your son is crazy. Crazy, I'm calling it. Since how can you say what craziness is except to say that it's craziness? But that's another story. Please stick to the point. Madam, I'm doing nothing but sticking to the point. It's true, he's crazy. It's a shame, it's true. And it's truly a shame, he's crazy. But now I know but now I sound foolish, so I'll get right to the point. Now, if we agree Hamlet's crazy, then the next step is to figure out the cause of his effect of craziness. Or I suppose I should say the cause of this defect, since the defective effect is caused by something. This is what we must do, and that's exactly what needs to be done. Think about it. I have a daughter. I have her until she gets married, who's given me this letter, considering it her duty. Look and listen about this. He reads a letter to the heavenly idol of my soul, the most beautiful Ophelia. By the way, beautified sounds bad. It sounds awful. It sounds crude. It's a terrible use of the word. But I'll go on. He reads Hamlet's letter. In her excellent white bosom, etc., etc. You don't need to hear all of this stuff. Gertrude. Hamlet wrote this letter to Ophelia? Madam, please be patient. I'll read it to you. He again reads the letter. You may wonder if the stars are fire. You may wonder if the sun moves across the sky. You may wonder if the truth is a liar. But never wonder if I love. Oh, Ophelia, I'm bad at poetry. I can't put my feelings into verse, but please believe I love you best. Oh, believe best of all. Believe it. Yours forever, my dearest one, as long as I live, still chugging along, Hamlet. Dutifully and obediently, my daughter showed me this letter and more like it. She's told me all about how Hamlet has been courting her, all the details of where and what he said and when. And how did she react to all of this? Sir, what's your opinion of me? I know you are royal and honorable, Polonius. I would like to prove to you that I am, but what would you have thought of me if I had kept quiet when I found out about this hot little love, which I noticed even before my daughter told me about it? My dear queen, what would have you thought of me if I had turned a blind eye to what was happening between Hamlet and my daughter? No, I had to do something. And so I said to my daughter, Lord Hamlet is a prince. He's out of your league. You have to end this. And then I gave her orders to stay away from him and not to accept any messages or little gifts from him. She did what I said, and when she rejected Hamlet, he became sad and stopped eating, stopped sleeping, getting weak, got dizzy. As a result, he lost his mind. That's why he's crazy now, and all of us feel sorry for him. Do you think that's why Hamlet's crazy? It may be. It certainly may be. Has there ever been a time, I'd really like to know, when I have definitely said something was true and it turned out not to be true? Not that I know of. Chop my head off if I'm wrong. I'll follow the clues, uncover the truth, even if it's at the very center of the earth. What can we do to find out if it's true? Well, you know, he sometimes walks in the lobby for hours at a time. Yes, he does. When he's there next time, I'll send my daughter to see him. To Claudius. You and I will hide behind the arras and watch that happen. If it turns out that Hamlet's not in love after all and hasn't gone mad for love, then you can fire me from the court job and I'll go work on a farm. Well, we'll try what you suggest. Hamlet enters reading a book. Look how sadly he comes in, reading his book. Please go away, both of you. I'll speak to him now. Please let me. Claudius and Gertrude exit. How are you, Hamlet? Fine, thank you. Do you know who I am? Of course, you sell fish. No, not me, sir. In that case, I wish you were as good a man as a fish seller. Good sir. Yes, sir. Only one man in 10,000 is good in the world. That's definitely true, my lord. Since if the sun breeds maggots and a dead dog kissing the corpse, by the way, do you have a daughter? I do indeed, my lord. Then by all means, never let her walk out in public. Procreation is a good thing, but if your daughter gets pregnant, look out, my friend. Polonius to himself. Now, what does he mean by that? Still harping on my daughter? But he didn't recognize me at first? He mistook me for a fish seller? He's far gone. But when I was young, I went crazy for love too. Almost as bad as this. I'll talk to him again. To Hamlet. What are you reading, Your Royal Highness? A lot of words. About what subject? Between whom? I mean, what do the words say? Oh, just lies, sir. A sly writer says here that old men have gray beards, their faces are wrinkled, their eyes full of gunk, and that they have no wisdom and weak thighs. Of course, I believe it all, but I don't think it's good manners to write it down, since you yourself, sir, would grow as old as I am if you could only travel backward like a crab. Polonius to himself. There's a method to his madness. To Hamlet. Will you step outside, my lord? Into my grave? Well, that's certainly out in this world, all right. Polonius to himself. His answers are so full of meaning sometimes. He has this way with words, as crazy people often do, and that sane people don't have this talent for. I'll leave him now and arrange my meeting between him and my daughter. To Hamlet. My lord, I'll take my leave to you now. You can't take anything from me that I care less about, except my life, except my life, except my life. Goodbye, my lord. Hamlet to himself. These boring old fools.